Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to now 250,000 subscribers. We're 10,000 shy, so hit the subscribe button, watch, and most importantly, share with a friend because, again, there's so much to talk about, and the knives are out. There is a MAGA civil war going on in this, and look, in this video that I want to show you, where it focuses on Elon Musk, this knife fight, think about this. It's because of H-1B visas, Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy saying that we here in the United States, we need foreign immigrants to work in our tech industry because our American students are just not competent or capable, according to these two. Now, MAGA influencers are fucking pissed at Elon for suggesting that we may need to actually increase immigration, right? Which is something which is completely antithetical to what Trump's programs are all about. First, I want to show you what Laura Loomer, and I have no regard for Laura Loomer. Those of you who follow me on my X account and others where I was constantly attacked by Laura Loomer, I want to show you what she says. In it, she turns around and she writes, "The elephant in the room is that Elon Musk, who is not MAGA and never has been." See, now they're fighting over who is more MAGA, is a total fucking drag on the Trump transition. And of course, wants real Donald Trump to be able to see her very important tweet. He's a stage 5 clinger. By the way, that's a reference from the movie with what's called Wedding Crashers, who overstayed his welcome at Mar-a-Lago in an effort to become Trump's side piece and be the point man for all of his accomplices in big tech to slither into Mar-a-Lago. All right? I can assure you, somebody worth close to $500 billion who made over 200 plus billion since Trump became president, he doesn't give a shit about much, least of all Laura Loomer. So what does Elon do? Well, didn't like what she said about him. And so what he ended up doing is he restricted her X account, her Twitter access. Here's what it said. To those of you getting messages saying that I deactivated my X subscriptions, that's a lie. I didn't. Elon Musk took away my premium account tonight, limited my character limit, and canceled my subscriptions because I spoke out about mass migration. It's retaliatory censorship. All right? He basically pulled out her account. She's now no longer being paid by her subscribers. She cannot now use for the pay feature. On top of that, he limited the number of characters that she could do to probably back to half and took away her blue check mark. All right? Basically, his two-finger fuck you to Laura Loomer. Now, this is what she then had to say in response to that. She turns around and she goes, Elon Musk is now admitting it's retaliation. Quotes, play stupid game, win stupid prizes. By the way, that's a comment from Mario Nafal. So calling out mass migration is a stupid game. So much for free speech, quite totalitarian, if you ask me. Well, you can call it whatever the hell you want there, Laura Loomer. You know, I'll tell you, you know what you started to attack? How about, remember my book, Revenge? How Donald Trump's administration weaponized the United States Department of Justice against its critics? Well, guess what? Welcome to the board of critics. Welcome to those who don't particularly want to hear what you have to say. And when you're fighting with somebody like the CEO, the owner of X, and you say stupid shit, you play stupid games, you act as you always do, which is stupid, well, there's consequences. Me personally, I don't like it. That's not what this is supposed to be about. Well, do what everybody else has done so far. Pick your ass up, move it over to Blue Sky. Why don't you move it over to Truth Social? Go do something else, right? Instead of bitching and whining about it. Now, this is what Elon had to say on X. Show it. Your understanding of the situation is upside down and backwards. Of course, talking to Laura Loomer. Of course, my companies and I would prefer to hire Americans, and we do. as that is much easier than going through the incredibly painful and slow work visa process. However, there is a dire shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers in America. This is not about handing out opportunities from some magical hat. You don't get it. This is blindingly obvious when looking at NBA teams, as the physical differences are so obvious to see. However, the mental differences between humans are far bigger than the physical differences. Interesting, right? He puts out then another post explaining his position on what he did, where he says, maybe this is a helpful clarification. I am referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning. This is like bringing in the Jokic or Wembys of the world to help your whole team, which is mostly American, win the NBA. Thinking of America as a pro sports team that has been winning for a long time and wants to keep winning is the right mental construct. Now, I got to be honest with you. I'm not so sure I understand the end of that post versus the beginning. America needs to start winning, but yet America is winning, and we're only going to take in 0.1% of the engineers that we read. Not probably the most well thought out post of Elon Musk or whoever it is that's posting for him. Because, by the way, there is no better country in the world, whether it's militarily, technology, or sports for that matter, than the United States. Now, I want to show you a clip. I want to go to this clip that Ben Meiselas and I did yesterday on Political Beatdown, where I explained how I predicted this knife fight would happen. And how did I predict it, and why did I predict it? Not because, again, I'm clairvoyant. Simply because I was there before. I've seen it firsthand, and nothing ever changes. Nothing changes. It's always the same. And so when one person gets down, like Laura Loomer, you're fighting with Elon Musk, it's not a fight. It's an ass kicking. It's a beating. Go to the clip.
Michael Cohen, you said from day one that this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's happened before Donald Trump's even taken office.
Yeah. So let me say to our brigaders and to you as well, Ben, Merry Christmas. To those of you who aren't aware that this is, I think, only the fifth time in recorded history that Christmas and Hanukkah fall out on the exact same day. Last time was 114 years ago, according to my rabbi, who happens to be my father, even though, of course, he's a retired head and neck reconstructive surgeon. But these important things, my father seems to give and to have the answers to everything. All right. Love the man. Anyway, it's not that I'm clairvoyant. And people always say, you seem to sort of know what's going on. You seem to have the ability within which to forecast what's going to happen. And it's not that I have the magic 8-ball. That was left and lost somewhere years ago in my parents' basement when they ultimately moved. It's simply because the old expression, Ben, the old expression, the old adage that history is doomed to repeat itself. Well, yeah. History is doomed to repeat itself. Let me just give you a little insight into what happened in 2016, when Trump won that election. Everybody was running around, and there always has to be one person in Donald's orbit who he sort of just pushes everything onto. And you all remember who the first person, secretary of everything, turned out to be. It was an unqualified individual by the name of Jared Kushner, who by coinkydink happens to also be his son-in-law. And how did Jared get this honor, this kuvit, as they say in Hebrew or in Yiddish? How did he get this kuvit? Well, because Ivanka pushed Jared into it. Well, let me say this. Yes, Merry Kwanzaa too. To those. So it's a Chris Mahana Kwanzaa to everybody. Apologies. So why did Jared get this again? Because Ivanka pushed him into it. Well, now we have Elon Musk, certainly a more talented individual, certainly a self-made individual, right? And now he is being given this sort of secretary of everything role. Problem, very similar to what happened as soon as Trump won, and ultimately chief of staff became an individual by the name of Reince Priebus. You may remember that name. He was his first chief of staff. Reince Priebus was so disliked by the other individuals that were around, and everybody didn't go by the name of MAGA, right? It was just part of the transition team. He was so disliked that the nickname for him became Rancid Penis instead of Reince Priebus. And literally people would call him Rancid. And I'm not joking about this. And the knife fighting that took place all the way into the Oval Office, all the way into the West Wing, never stopped. You remember, then he got shit canned, and then there was also Sean Spicer, and then there was just everyone after the other, after the other, after the other. And there's a reason why this happens. It happens because they're all in it for themselves. Yes, it is a fucking clown show. It really is. None of these people that you see standing up on the stage, maybe, no, I shouldn't say maybe, except for Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law, because she has everything to gain simply by the name continuing to grow as it is, as you see Eric now talking about buildings being built in Riyadh and in Qatar and so on, with projects now all over the world. All of these folks that you see standing there on the stage with him, right, bending the knee and so on, it's all great for right now. But think about what happens on day number one. All right, and this was the same problem, again, going back to the first term. As soon as day one comes about, everybody takes their seats. Yay, I'm here. I'm now the secretary of blah, blah, blah. Makes no difference. All right, now what? Yeah, I'm the big boss, but I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Who am I speaking to? What's on the agenda? Where are we up to? Yada, yada, yada. And so bad things happen. And Donald doesn't like bad things. In fact, he doesn't like failure at all. So what ends up happening? One guy reports to the other that, hey, Secretary so-and-so, he has no idea what the hell he's doing. What do you mean? All right, well, I just got a phone call from the New York Times, the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, the AP, whoever, that there's all these folks on the inside that are reaching out to their journalist friends, and they're reporting the chaos that exists. Trump hates negative press like that. And so what happens? He calls him into the Oval Office. Fighting continues. This one now sees this one's a little bit weak. So what do? You step on his head, and then it goes on and on and on. And that's what we're going to see. And if you think, for example, that, let me go two more things here. If you think that this is not going to happen, especially as Trump intends to sign well in excess of 100 executive orders on day number one, including pardoning all the January 6th insurrectionists, you would be out of your mind. All right? It's going to happen. And then the second, you're going to start to see, again, the knives coming out. And it is going to be a brutal fight. It's going to be fighting from Democrats against Trump's executive orders through the court system. And you're going to see Republicans inside the White House fighting. Look at what they did to Anthony Scaramucci as an example. One guy lied and said to Donald that Anthony was going to be making $250 million on the sale of his hedge fund, Skybridge, to the Chinese. Trump called Scaramucci in. He says, it's not true. It's not true. Right? Lo and behold, 11 days, boop, in comes the new term, you've been Scaramucci'd, right? 11 days in. You're going to see so much of this going on. The only problem This is part two. How do you get rid of Elon Musk? So, seriously, you're Donald Trump now. How do you actually get rid of Elon Musk? You know what bothers
I've
Donald?
got an answer for you.
Yeah, but you know what really bothers Donald? The fact that they're calling him now Elania, meaning that they're, they have a bromance, right? Instead of Melania, they're calling him Elania. And then on top of that, you have a guy who is controlling Twitter, X, that's his platform, along with many other things. How do you get rid of Elon Musk? Tell me. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.